that big commotion behind me is the new Nike launch.
Nike handed Alex Eala a Sampaguita hair tie, tucked inside a white box lined with artificial grass, and within 1 week, 125,000 people had responded. Nike had no idea what it had just started. That single non-commercial gesture, engineered by BBH Singapore, never meant to be sold, revealed something the brand's distribution team simply was not ready for. Alex Eala's fan base is not a regional phenomenon, it is a global one. And when Nike finally tried to monetize that moment, the strategy it chose guaranteed failure before the first item ever shipped. This is the story of how Nike got the cultural execution exactly right, and the commercial execution catastrophically wrong, and how the vacuum that failure created is now being filled by resellers, counterfeiters, and a transnational disinformation network generating millions of pesos every single month from Eala's name.
2, 1, go!
On June 30th, 2025, on the eve of Alex Eala's Wimbledon main draw debut, Nike delivered a gift, not a jersey. It's not a racket bag, a single hair tie, handcrafted in the shape of a Sampaguita blossom, the national flower of the Philippines. The packaging was deliberate and precise, a minimalist white box, the interior lined with a miniature grass court and a handwritten note quoting a Filipino proverb, "Kung may tinanim, may aanihin." If you plant something, you will harvest something. The creative team behind this was BBH Singapore, Chief Creative Officer Sasha Kuntze, Creative Directors Wei Hao Chin and Cecile Pimont, and Creatives Grace Wong and Siamina Abiana. This was not a product launch, it was a cultural argument made through packaging, and Eala wore that Sampaguita hair tie onto center court for her match against defending Wimbledon champion Barbara Krejcikova. Within 7 days, 125,000 likes, 1,700 comments, from a hair tie that was never for sale. And that's when the decision that followed becomes almost impossible to explain.
That was actually a surprise for me. The message behind it was great. And I was like wearing my little flower. Oh my God.
5 weeks later, on August 5th, 2025, Naka and Eala appeared together on the cover of Vogue Philippines. The occasion was the launch of the Nike by You in Full Bloom capsule collection. Manila-based artist Georgina Camus designed the centerpiece, a graphic tee featuring a blooming Sampaguita overlaid on the grass courts of the All England Lawn Tennis Club. 3 products total: the graphic tee, a canvas tote bag, and embroidered ball cap. The creative work was exceptional. What came next was not. Nike chose to route the entire commercial release through a single retail partner. Park Access, the official Nike licensee in the Philippines, sold the collection exclusively through its domestic online portal at parkaccess.com/ph. Park Access holds a bronze-tier retail partnership with Nike, one domestic URL, for a collection the entire world had been building towards since June. Eala's confirmed fan base spans North America, Europe, Oceania, and the Middle East. Nike gave them one checkout page. In one country, the stock was gone within hours, not days, hours, and what happened next is the commercial consequence Nike's distribution team does not appear to have modeled at all. International fans and the Filipina nurse in London, the diaspora family in California, the supporter in Dubai who'd watched Eala's match against Krejcikova turned to the only market still open, secondary resale. On eBay, independent sellers listed authentic canvas tote bags and graphic tees between $99.95 and $99.99 plus high international shipping fees. Items priced for Philippine consumers had become commodities on a global secondary exchange, and Nike collected none of that revenue. At the same time, on Lazada Philippines, unofficial manufacturers moved straight into the void. Alex Eala Full Bloom inspired activewear appeared across the platform. Prices ranged from 112 pesos and 21 centavos to 450 pesos. Not Nike, not Georgina Camus. Not the Sampaguita designed for a center court moment, knockoffs. And they sold because the fans who wanted to wear Eala's collection had nowhere else to go. Nike hadn't just failed to meet demand. Nike had created two parallel markets around its own athlete, and both of them operated entirely outside Nike's commercial control.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here's the detail that makes the distribution failure most striking. Nike and Park Access are active co-sponsors of major physical events across the Philippines. The Ayala Philippine Marathon, the Rexona Metro Manila 10-miler series, the Pride Run 2025, which drew 10,000 participants to the SM Mall of Asia complex. Nike has the operational infrastructure to put 10,000 people in branded running gear at a single Manila event. Nike could not route a canvas tote bag to a fan in Melbourne. The logistical capacity was never the constraint. The distribution architecture, say centralized, domestic, bronze tier, was a structural choice. And applied to a global athlete with a global fan base, that choice produced a completely predictable result: scarcity, exploitation, and a market Nike has no visibility into whatsoever. But the supply chain failure is only one part of this story. Because what happens next is where things get genuinely serious, as investigative reports by Rappler and The Nerve documented, the commercial confusion surrounding Eala's Nike relationship became raw material for something far more organized. A transnational network of Facebook pages, Tennis Plus, Tennis Together, Top Spin Central, Tennis Triumph, Tennis Today, built specifically to monetize Eala's name through fabricated stories and AI-generated imagery. The operational structure is precise. 4 of the primary pages are administered by at least one account based in Vietnam. Tennis Triumph is managed from the Philippines. Additional administrators operate from Bangladesh. The Alex Eala Lovers Facebook group is moderated from Africa. These are not fan pages, they are ad impression businesses, and their financing was traceable. In March 2025, Tennis Plus and Tennis Today ran targeted Facebook ads sponsored by Tipify LLC and Expedity LLC, both US-registered custom merchandise retailers. By July 2025, Tipify LLC had partnered with an entity called Fancy Media to sponsor Tennis Triumph. By August 2025, Tennis Together and Top Spin Central were running campaigns backed by something called Infinite Playlist, a company with no identifiable public footprint whatsoever. Once the audiences were built, the fabrication began. The most direct attacks targeted Eala's real commercial relationships, and Nike specifically. Clickbait pages circulated a story claiming Nike had offered Eala a $45 million contract framed around the idea of snubbing Aryna Sabalenka in May 2026. It was false. Eala's verified Nike relationship began in 2019 and produced the In Full Bloom capsule in 2025. No such offer existed. Simultaneously, fabricated posts claimed Eala had signed a $45 million endorsement with American manufacturer Wilson, replacing her actual equipment sponsor Babolat, which has supplied Eala's rackets since her junior career, including her current Pure Aero 2023 model, also false. Then in February 2026, clickbait pages, Tennis Dispatch and Tennis Network published claims that UAE billionaire Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan had offered Eala a 10-year contract worth $1.6 billion, a $1 billion down payment, $600 million annually, to become queen of a fictitious Abu Dhabi Diamond Tennis Championship. At the time of this claim, Eala's verified career prize money totaled approximately $1.49 million. Every fabricated story followed the same redirect pathway: Facebook page to first stage blog to a high-density ad landing page. The largest portals in this network generated up to $40,517 per month in ad impressions. That's approximately 2.4 million pesos every month at a CPM rate of $4.27 to $7.63 per thousand views. The real Nike story: supply chain failure, sellout in hours, eBay resales at $99.99, knockoffs on Lazada starting at 112 pesos, and 21 centavos generated a fraction of the engagement that a fabricated $45 million contract produced. The Disinformation Network understood this audience's appetite before Nike did. On February 27, 2026, Alex Eala was welcomed at Nike's world headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. The visit was framed as a global ambassador recognition. Global Ambassador, Beaverton, Oregon, one domestic URL in the Philippines. Eala's broader commercial portfolio has continued to grow. Globe Telecom, a sponsor since she was 8 years old, BPI since 2022, locally in Nutriasia since July 2025, Milo and Nestlé since February 2026. According to Forbes, her total endorsement revenues are projected to reach $3 million, approximately 185 million pesos, in 2026. The cultural capital is undeniable. A non-commercial hair tie in a white box lined with artificial grass generated 125,000 responses before a single product was ever listed. And a Disinformation Network has already proven that Eala's name, even attached to completely fabricated stories, can drive millions of pesos in monthly revenue for strangers operating across 4 continents. So the question Nike has not yet answered is the simplest one. If a hair tie in a white box could do all of that, what exactly is the strategy for the athlete you just called a global ambassador?